residents of the Kalinago territory of Salybia, from one end to the other, and to Cas Bruce, and to all the visiting supporters we have here with us tonight. I know it's getting late. It's 10 o'clock, and the meeting was scheduled to end at 10. So I promise you tonight, I won't be long. But I not just need to raise a few issues with you. First of all, I want to thank you, the East and the Kalinago territory, for being part of my 30-year journey in politics. I contested in 1990 and I lost to Alan Carbon, and I've won every other election from 1995. And you, the people of the Kalinago territory, have been part of that experience, which is a wonderful experience. Because I have seen this country move from very dark days, especially between 1995 and 2000, to days now of glorious sunshine and great certainties for the future. I have been part of that process, and it was not an easy process getting to this point. But we are here, brothers and sisters, and we can only go forward, we cannot go backwards. But we expect you, the Kalinagos, to assist us in taking us forward. Because you build the trails, you lighted the trails, you save our country, you save us while we are here today. And so no reward is too great to reward the Kalinago people for the contribution that they have made to the development of this country. And for those of you who can remember, before the Dominica Labour Party became government in 2000, the Kalinagos had never elected anybody on 2 consecutive elections. You always change your party because you were always not satisfied with the representation that you were getting. And so you were always searching for something new and something fresh. And it was Kelly Grant who broke that cycle. When under the Dominica Labour Party, you voted for Kelly Grant on 2 consecutive occasions. Because you had not found your niche and you recognized that the Dominica Labour Party was serious about the development of the Kalinagos and the Kalinago territory. And after Kelly did his 2 years, you gave Ashton time. And you gave Cassius time. And now you're giving Kosher time. You have kept your faith in Roosevelt's spirit and the Dominica Labour Party, because the Dominica Labour Party has been good to you, the people of the Kalinago territory.
Labour again, La put Labour again. Run for whether lightning, thunder, sun or rain, he put Labour again.
For those of you who are old enough to remember when you were disrespected, remember when you were laughed at, remember when you were insulted and criticized, remember when you were treated as second-class citizens in your own territory. And the Dominica Labour Party said that no more shall our Kalinago people be treated as second-class citizens in their own land, brothers and sisters. And so we began creating opportunities for you. Opportunities in education, in sanitation. And I can speak of housing because I've been a housing minister for all my life in the cabinet, 20 years and more. I've been a housing minister. And I can recall where you came from. I can recall the type of housing you had. I can remember you had pit latrines. And those of you who didn't have pit latrines had plastic bags and paper bags. I remember those days. And Roosevelt carried, and the Dominica Labour Party decided it was time to give you some dignity, not only as Kalinagos, but as human beings, brothers and sisters. And so we equip you with the tools that would make you decent human beings. And now it hurts my heart to see some of your own people want to send you back to those dark days, brothers and sisters. to see some of your own people, some of your own Kalinago sisters want to take you back from whence you came. When this government decided after Hurricane Maria, we were going to build you resilient homes because you got beaten very badly by Maria. And these people, your own people, went on the radio and said the houses that the government are building, we should cover it with straw to maintain the agriculture, brothers and sisters. They attempted to deny you, like every other Dominican, an opportunity to get a house that no hurricane could take away from you, brothers and sisters. That is the treatment. And they say it's World Bank house. Well, let me tell you something. It's loan, the government. But if the loan bank give Dominica house, then that is fine. Because when we came in, the World Bank did not want to see Dominica, brothers and sisters. When we came in, the European Union did not want to see Dominica. We were heavily in debt. We had a wayward, renegade government. We had a government that took public officers' social security money and never paid it into social security. And when we came, we met the government indebted to social security of $35 million. Poor people money, hard working money of public officers. They took the money from their salary and they would not pay it to social security. So had something happened, when you would go and believe that you had a little change at social security, you had nothing at social security. You had many public officers who had worked for 30, 40 years, who had retired, and they could not get their pension because the country was broke, brothers and sisters. The private sector was crippled because when the government of the United Workers' Party created the material like every other government, they could not pay the private sector. And we made debts of $11 million owed to the private sector. We also met in the treasury checks that were written out to pay to people. But those checks could not be issued because they were bonds, because the government had no money in its account to honor those checks, brothers and sisters. The Aid Bank, the National Bank, when we came in, the international community forced us to change our directors from the banks because the bank was like the ATM of the United Workers' Party. That is what they left. When we came in, that is what we met. And even under all this pressure, we were still able to honor our commitment to you, the people of the Kalinago territory. Today, they believe they can fool you. They send the UWP people claiming that they're independent. Well, Big Mama or Mama, I don't know what her name is. But two of them, see how disorganized these people are. They sent 2 UWPs to run independent. 2 UWPs they sent to run independent. And when they realized that once they write a speech for one, saying that she withdraw. But you cannot treat the people like that. What is the big secret? You say you boycotting elections. You say you're not taking part in the election. You don't want to have nothing to do with this election. You're going to demonstrate for the elections, yet still you campaigning all around with independent candidate. So you taking part in the election damn well. So why you fool the people? Why you want to come through the back door when the front door is open? The opportunity was there for you to put your name on the ballot. You said the election is not democratic. Ladies and gentlemen, did you see our work for peace and prosperity? Were you in Roseau? On Thursday, the United Workers' Party had a circus in Roseau. This Saturday, we did a work for peace, and the entire Roseau was loaded with Dominica Labour Party supporters, brothers and sisters. Oh, and they say, well, it was a carnival, it was a Juve morning. And for those of you who were there last night in Roseau, did you see people in Roseau last night? Did you see people in Roseau last night? giving their support to the Dominican Labour Party for these coming elections. And rather than respect the wishes of the Kalinago people, rather than respect the wishes of the Dominican people by saying clearly that they support the Dominican Labour Party and they agree with Roosevelt's carrot that we should call the elections now so we could have a new reset. Rather than do that, they want to teach our people how to intimidate your voters and how to burn down the city. But that is not going to happen. Because the majority of the Dominican people are behind the decision of the Dominican Labour Party to call this election.
Labour's still the best choice. You can talk and make your noise. Labour's still the best choice. Scream until you lose your voice. Labour's still the best choice. Go and get for boy. Labour's still the best choice.
And my friends, we have observers here. We invited observers to come to observe our elections. Because our elections are clean. We did it according to the law of the land. We followed the Constitution to the T. We're doing nothing illegal, and we're not afraid. Let them come to observe the elections. But I hope they're observing the behavior of the United Workers' Party government. I hope they're listening to Q95, and they're hearing the utterances of the United Workers' Party. I hope they hear how the workers planning to prevent people from going to vote. I hope they're listening to the United Workers' Party to be armed and dangerous and creating blockages so the people of Dominica cannot exercise their franchise to vote freely and fairly. It's not just on election day they must be observing. They're here already. They must be monitoring the radio stations. They must monitor the vibes so they will give the report as it is at the end of this election. That the people who want to block the election, the people who want to prevent Dominicans from voting is the United Workers' Party and their supporters, brothers and sisters. And that has to be very clear. And we're being very peaceful. And I want to urge you to be very peaceful, brothers and sisters. Do not allow them to provoke you because they want to send a message to the international community that it have trouble and deba in Dominica. That is why when they threatened the Prime Minister in Salisbury, where you ever hear that happening? That you're telling a Prime Minister that he cannot go to a village unless he apologizes to you. For what? You guys blocked the road. You guys put fire in government road. You guys prevent children from going to school. You guys held their country hostage. When the police came, you stunned the police. You send Molotov cocktails at the police. You go in the people's home and run. And when the police take action, you're saying they should apologize. Hector John should be arrested, brothers and sisters. Hector John should be sent to prison for inciting violence in this country. For have a few thugs and hooligans destroying government property, injuring policemen on duty. And Lennox Linton goes on the radio and he told the people of Salisbury that next time the police come to Salisbury, you must stone them. That is what the United Workers' Party had to say to the people of Salisbury after this police tried to restore law and order. And you have these young people. You have this young lady who went to school, who studied, and who decided to make a career in politics. You can go and study and become whatever you want to become. She chose politics. And she was threatened. She could not even do her luncheon in Salisbury because Hector John sent a message to her saying that you guys are not welcome in Salisbury. We will do what we have to do to prevent you from coming in Salisbury. You know that is true. That is why she had to be launched in vehicles. When we are talking about giving our young people opportunities to serve, when we're talking about our youth, when we're talking about the potential that lies in our young people to build and develop our country, the United Workers' Party is threatening those young people with malice and violence and body injuries, brothers and sisters. That is what we face in this election. And that is why we have to send a clear message to everybody that the Kalinago territory is fully behind the decision of the Dominica Labour Party. So don't tell me you win already. Don't tell me you win already. Yes, you win already. But you have to go there for the next three days and get more votes. And you have to be armed with information so you can campaign and canvass them and confess them and encourage them. Because, my friends, there are many UWP people who are ashamed of their party, especially in the Kalinago territory. Here it is. You had an opportunity to put a Kalinago sister on your executive. You had an opportunity at your delegates conference to put a Kalinago as the deputy leader of the United Workers' Party. That girl caused so much problem in the parliament for the government. She defended you in all the march she was doing. She stood with you. And now you have an opportunity to give the Kalinago people representation at the highest level in your parliament. You cooked the lady and she got 57 votes, while the fellow that cannot win Skerrit got over 100 votes. What is the use of putting a deputy leader in Vickers, Penville, when he cannot touch Skerrit or touch Labour in Penville? When you believe you have an opportunity here in the Kalinago territory, it's not only disrespect to Annette, but it's disrespect to you, the Kalinago people. Even if you're not supporting Annette, but she's a Kalinago. And the same thing they did to her husband. What is it that you, the Kalinago people, did to the United Workers' Party? Why they don't like you so? What is it that you did to Lennox Linton? What is it that you did to Thompson Fontaine? Tell me, I want to know. Why they don't like all you here in the Kalinago territory? Why they will use every opportunity to discriminate against you? Why they'll give you every opportunity to make your contribution? And you know, Thompson Fontaine, when he gave his first speech as leader, he called for civil disobedience. That was his first request. That was his first promise to the people of Dominica. And then he went on a program with Sean. And he said the first thing he will do if he gets into government is to disband the NEP program. He will disband the NEP program and he will stop the CBI. The two most important institutions for you, the Kalinagos, your NEP and your CBI funding. Thompson Fontaine is promising that when he becomes prime minister in the next 40 years, he will disband. So that is the intention. That is what they have in their head, to take jobs away from you, rather than saying they will help create jobs for you, the Kalinagos. They're thinking how they're going to deny you of work, brothers and sisters. And that is what this election is for you, the Kalinagos.
Labor again, Lamplin, we put labor again. Run for whether lightning, thunder, sun or rain, we put labor again. We put labor.
And so that is why you have to reject them in the biggest way you can. You have to send them a clear signal that you're not in your foolishness. You're not going back, you're going forward, brothers and sisters. And UWP under Lennox Linton is the same UWP under Thompson Fontaine, is the same UWP under Dr. Benjamin. The party philosophy remains the same. It's like putting old wine in new bottles. It's the same old wine. It's the same old thing. For that party to become alive, they have to change everything about the party. They have to change the name. They have to change the color. They have to change the leader. They have to change everything. They have to make a new party. Because that United Workers' Party have failed you, the people of the Kalinago territory. So whether they send Big Mama, whether they send Annette, no matter what they send, say Membet, Mempral, Messieurs, Mesdames. It's the same thing. And so, on December 6th, you have to send a very clear message. Not only to the United Workers' Party, but to the entire world that you have no issues in this election. And the work that Kozia has done, the work that Kelly and Ashton and Cassius and now Kozia, that work has to continue. Only the Dominica Labour Party understands how to do this. And before I leave, today, the needs of the East is more just John, a little drain. It's more than a little this, a little that here. Because you have serious challenges created for you by climate change. Today you're witnessing more landslides, more flooding, more rainfall, and the entire East is an endangered zone. And the government has taken a decision that some of these villages, some of these homes, some of these people, they have to be relocated. Because it will get worse before it gets better. Because the issues of climate change getting worse rather than it get better. And so there is a bigger picture that you in the Kalinago territory have to begin to look for. Hurricane Maria was the effect of climate change. We have had several hurricanes before, and none time we had seen a hurricane as devastating as Maria. And the prediction is that hurricanes to come in the future can even be more devastating than Maria. And so that is something that you, the people of the East, who are very vulnerable, have to keep your fingers on the button. And then nobody not talking about that. They don't talk about the danger to lives and property in the east of the country. They don't talk about in Castle Bruce and in Petit Soufrière and in Good Hope and in Grand Fond and in La Plaine that government virtually have to be taking food to these people because their gardens got destroyed, their gardens got damaged, their livelihood got destroyed. They're not talking about that, which is what is the issue at hand right now. So for you, the people of the Kalinago territory, you have to begin to look into the future and decide on who you're going to allow to take you into that very unpredictable future. And the only person that can take you through that is Kozia Frederick and the Dominica Labour Party.
Party shall not be moved.
And so, brothers and sisters, Cottage constituency win already. We don't have elections. Because the Labour Party had laid a foundation that nobody didn't want to challenge. I hear a couple names mentioned, but when our candidates show up, all man back down, like in 6 other constituencies. We should not be here wasting time in the Kalinago territory. Because the competition they give you not making sense. Where were these people when you needed them? What, they were in England and they retired and they just come over? Were they here all the time? When you in the Kalinago territory was under stress, when you needed somebody after the hurricane, where were these people? What were they doing? What qualifies them to come and contest you? What qualifies them? When Kozia was there, Kelly Grano, Ashton Grano, Cassius, even if they were not members of parliament, but you could see them on the ground assisting people. All of a sudden, we're not doing this thing because it's not a concert. It's not a fashion show. It's not a party we're having. This is serious business. This is business that will affect the lives of the Dominican people. This is about the future of you and the future of your children and the future of your Kalinago territory. And that is what you should be concerned about. And that is what he's saying to you. That the task ahead and will continue to plod along. No matter how difficult it is, Roosevelt's carrot will find the resources to make it happen. You will not get everything one time. You don't expect to get everything one time. But it will happen gradually. But we need your support. We need your endorsement. We need your loud yes by putting the X against the shoe. Mad by the shoe on the 6th of December. Kozia Frederick should get the same amount of vote he got that election and more.
Labour's the best choice. You can talk and make your mind.
Because there are many UWP supporters in the Kalinago territory that hide in their faces because they are ashamed and disappointed of what the United Workers' Party is doing to them, brothers and sisters. But you know what? Let us work with them. Let us give them a little space on board that labor ship. Let us give them some space. Let them come on board. They are people too. They have children too. These children are our children. The parents may be misguided, but the children are our children. And we have a responsibility to look out for them. And I know labor rights be. I know labor rights be already. But we're going to do a new reset. We're going to change the way things were done. We're going to have a new focus on how we develop this country. And we've always said that we need all hands on deck. Once you're willing to come and work with your heart, with your hands, with your energies, we're willing to accept you in the family of labor. And that is why today you see there are many UWP supporters supporting the Dominica Labour Party. And you have some of them here in the Calagan territory. They were workers. I met them. I see them. But they're afraid of you because they know you'll put them in their place. But let us reach out. Let us have a gentle heart because this election is about the whole of Dominica. We have to show these people that the whole of Dominica is united behind the Dominica Labour Party. We need to show them that Roosevelt Skerrit is the only man left standing, that the Dominica Labour Party and Roosevelt Skerrit is still the best choice for Dominica.
My PM family, yeah, still the best choice. You can talk and make your life.
So, with these few words, I told you already it's getting late. I'm not going to keep you. I could stay for the rest of the night with you here, but it would not be fair to you. You need to go and sleep and rest, and tomorrow you have to hit the Campbell Trail. Because you'll be surprised that there's still a few Labour Party people that's still a little disgruntled. They will vote, but you need to go to them and give them the information and convince them to vote. But more importantly, the United Workers' Party supporters that are disgruntled with their party, we need to go and find them. Let's reach out to them. So let tomorrow, Sunday, and let Monday be 2 full days of work on the ground, gathering as many votes as we can for Kozia Frederick and the Dominica Labour Party. And I know you can do it. You have your own style. You have your own way of doing things. And I'm not afraid for the Kalinago people, because in time of struggle, the Kalinago people has always survived, brothers and sisters. The Kalinago people has always survived in very difficult times. And I know in this time, we will prevail. You will assist us. And so on Tuesday night, we'll be celebrating the big victory of Kozia Frederick and the Dominica Labour Party. May God bless you. I want to thank you for your support. I want to thank you for staying with Labour. I want to thank you for having trust and confidence in Roosevelt Skerrit. You are a proud people, a brave people, and we cannot move this country if we do not move the Kalinago territory. And so you are part of the process, you're part of the development, and you have a responsibility. The only party that has shown interest in the well-being of the Kalinago people is the Dominica Labour Party. And you have an opportunity on Tuesday. You have an opportunity on Tuesday to thank the Dominica Labour Party for looking after you, for taking care of you, by putting your vote next to the shoe, by putting your vote next to Kozia Frederick, by putting your vote next to the Dominica Labour Party, and give us a huge victory. Thank you very much. Good night, and God bless you.